Hello, everyone. We're just getting set up on social media on Beanstalk Global. My name is Max McGillivray. We have got yet another exciting pre-event broadcast for the University of Northampton Sustainability Summit, which is running on the 15th and 16th of May, 2023. And it's been held at the University of Northampton at their amazing Waterside campus at their Learning Hub. I love that, at their Learning Hub. The theme of the Sustainability Summit for May 2023 is adapting to a changing world, identifying our shared sustainability challenges. And this summit is going to provide an opportunity for the university to make its rich expertise available to stakeholders to identify the best solutions to our shared sustainability challenges. This is, I think it's either the second or the third pre-event broadcast that we've done on this basis. And where the team at the university have been very good is that they've got some of the people that have been directly involved with the summit coming on. So we can find a little bit more about them and as to why they're getting involved with the summit, but also to create this change that we all want to see. And we were just talking about this in the green room before we went live. That again, the university has managed to attract some fascinating individuals who are already creating change in their businesses around this whole area of sustainability. And we're going to learn. We're going to learn from them. We're going to learn from them a little bit today on the broadcast, but we're definitely going to learn from them all at the summit. And again, this is a distinct reason why you need to sign up for the summit. So let's get everyone in. Sharon, Guy, Valerie, Simon, and Ebenezer. Let's have you all in, please. And I think what we're going to do is I'm just going to get everyone to introduce themselves. And so we'll be dutifully polite. And Valerie, let's start with you. And Valerie, you've already done you're one of the key sponsors of the event. You already did a great video. We were talking about it earlier at your site, Freefoam in the warehouse. So thank you very much for that. But tell us who you are and tell us all about Freefoam, please.
Yeah, thank you for those lovely comments. So my name is Laryea Zashiri. I am the Sustainability and Circular Economy Coordinator here at Freefoam. Freefoam are a local manufacturer. We manufacture PVC building materials. So it's probably things that you probably see on your houses, things like fascia, soffit, rainwater systems, cladding systems, internal paneling, that kind of thing. And we're on a really exciting journey towards sustainability. And we've been taking some really giant strides and doing lots of lovely work in that area. Yeah.
Excellent. And Valerie, tell me, you as a business, do you find it's not a legal requirement for you to go down the sustainability route? Are you finding it's making a fundamental difference to Freefoam to adopt the sustainability message and to integrate it into your business? Is it making a difference to your business?
Oh, absolutely. We sell to house builders and your average homeowner, and I think there is a demand from these end users for sustainable materials or sustainably produced building materials, and it's just things like reducing the embodied carbon of a new build house, for example. Yeah.
Yep. What the value, and especially with the housing shortage and the housing building that's going on, you can just see that even if there are small developments in your area of expertise, how that's going to swing the dial to the benefits of everyone. And again, that's why I'm really excited, Valerie, about hearing from you, meeting you at the conference, because anything that we can learn from your sector that's going to translate into other sectors is going to be hugely beneficial. So Valerie, thank you. Sharon, over to you. Who are you and who are you representing?
Okay, I'm Sharon O'Connor and I work for a company called Neen Group. Within Neen Group, we also have Neen Warehouse Solutions, and my objective is to try and change the warehouse industry and make it greener. Wow, that's a
fantastic elevator pitch. And Sharon, I've got one common stat that I always run out, and I think it's still a valid stat, that as more and more goes online, for every additional £1 billion that goes online away from the high street, which is sad, but it's just the way it's evolution, not revolution. But for every £1 billion that goes online, there's another 750,000 square footage of storage space is required. So a bit like Valerie, with yourself, with the sectors that you're in, there's such massive units that are happening. So anything that you can do to swing that dial on the sustainability side is going to be hugely beneficial. Do you think?
Yes, unfortunately, my internet broke up. But yes, I mean, we only need to have a look in our local area, Junction, 11 to 18, and it's just a massive warehouse corridor. So if we can do something to make that area much greener, I think it would be much better.
Excellent. And again, just to reiterate that point, that's why we need to come to the conference to meet people like Sharon and Valerie on that construction element, because we could definitely learn from them. But let's look in a slightly different degree. Guy, tell us about you and tell us about your amazing business, please.
So I founded, along with my wife, Bambino Mio 25 years ago. We're the global leader in terms of reusable nappies. We set out in the early days to make reusables commercially acceptable worldwide. I mean, disposables are thrown away at a rate of 3.6 billion in the UK, 90 billion worldwide every year. And as a company, we've set out to sort of change that to really revolutionize the market and get more and more parents to see the benefits and start using reusable nappies. We think since we started 25 years ago, we've probably prevented 2 billion nappies going to landfill. But we have huge ambitions to make that number much, much higher. I mean, as a business, I suppose we were what you would call a purpose-driven business before that even became a buzzword, because we've always been about getting more parents to use reusable nappies. And actually, unlike a lot of businesses who are having to look at their business model to make it more sustainable, to make it more purpose-driven, obviously our commercial objective sits completely alongside our purpose. The more people we get to use reusable nappies, the more profitable we are as a business. So as a business, that's always been at the heart of what we've done. And but it's actually all areas, not just sustainability. We were recently accredited as a B Corp, and we've won what were Queen's Awards, now King's Awards. We've won 2 Queen's Awards, one of which was for sustainability.
And as I was saying in our green room, my background is predominantly food, and you forget sometimes about these sectors of the likes of Guy. You only have to look at the report that came out today from the BBC showing that the trajectory of population in India is about to overtake China, and so those growth rates are ongoing. And what happens when with that growth rate, young children? What happens with young children nappies? And Guy, it seems senseless that a business like yours hasn't prospered previously. And I don't want to go into the debate about large corporations and how they just want to push out a particular product and they're not worried about the other end. That's why we need people like yourself in that sector to create that difference. And again, that's why we need people like you within the summit, so that we can learn and take some of your intellect, some of your intellectual horsepower that you've learned from your sector over to these other sectors. So Ebenezer, this is fantastic that we've got Sharon, Valerie, and Guy on this pre-event broadcast. How is this summit itself shaping up, Ebenezer, please? And Ebenezer, introduce yourself, please.
Thanks, Max, and hello, everyone. My name is Dr. Ebenezer. I'm an associate professor at the University of Northampton, and it's really exciting to be here with you, Max, together with Simon, Valerie, Guy, and Sharon. The summit is shaping up very nicely. We've got lots of huge interest from outside, obviously, of the university in terms of our contacts, and obviously there's a lot of huge interest, but also I think huge anticipation, because it's I think important to mention that what we're trying to do with this conference, this summit, is really to solve problems. We want to identify what those shared challenges are, and then we also want to get on to address them through collaborative research, through collaborative knowledge exchange and enterprise. And so we want to sort of, essentially work together on those specific challenges that affect us all. And we want to pool our resources together, and we want to obviously have one single sort of sense of mission around it. So it is great to be on this broadcast with the likes of obviously colleagues on here, and really, really excited.
Excellent, Ebenezer, thank you. And last but not least, Simon, who are you? And introduce yourself, please.
Yeah, thanks very much, Max. Excuse me. Yeah, so my name is Simon Derrick, also known as Denzel to some as well. And I'm head of sustainability at a company called Blue Skies. And we make prepared fruit. Our headquarters are in Northamptonshire. But the philosophy of the business is to add value at source. So we make the finished products in the countries where the fruit grows. So we've got factories in Ghana, Egypt, South Africa, Brazil, and Benin, as well as a facility in Corby as well, which assembles different fruit from different parts of the world. So yeah, really looking forward to being part of this summit. I'm also helping to organise the summit and really see how we can bring different companies and organisations together to explore, how we can find those solutions to those shared sustainability challenges, as Ebenezer so rightly said.
Simon, well done. And I say this every time. If you want to see a mercurial business in the world of fresh food, you have to look at Blue Skies. As the founder stated to me at a recent interview, Anthony Pyle, that Blue Skies was set up as a social enterprise before social enterprise ever became a thing. And it'd be fascinating, Guy, with you just recently becoming a B Corp, Simon, to have a conversation around that but perhaps we could do that at the summit. And just as a little jokey thing, I've got a contact in America who's dialing in, and he would love to come to the summit, but as he says, that myself, Ebenezer, and Simon, and our other colleague from the University of Northampton, and we've done so many broadcasts together. He's suggesting that we should set up a boy band, and he would like the other panelists of Sharon, Guy, and Valerie to come up with a boy band name for the three of us after near the end of this broadcast. So that's just something being a little bit flippant. But let's get to the nuts and bolts of this. Sharon, what's exciting you about the summit from a personal perspective and also a business perspective? Why do you want to get involved, please, Sharon? Oh, Sharon, just turn your ears on.
From a personal perspective, being local, I think it's amazing the work that Northamptonshire University is doing around sustainability. And I think they need the recognition, because really it is world class what they're doing. From a business point of view, I just think that we need to get a lot more vocal about sustainability. I've been in the sector for 28 years, and it's really been slow progress. But we need to now start shouting and really pushing the boundaries on sustainability. And this is an amazing platform to do so.
Yeah, but all credit to Ebenezer and the rest of the team there. It's quite a brave thing. It's a big hassle organising such a conference, but they've done it because they want to create good outcomes. Guy, what about yourself? What are you excited about the summit? And especially because you've done so much already. As again, just mentioning the likes of becoming a B Corp. Is there anything that you can learn at such a summit, or do you know already, Guy?
Oh, definitely. It's learning all the time. And I think it's changing and progressing all the time as well. And I think you've seen the world change, and you can see this through the B Corp organisation. I mean, the UK is the most active in terms of B Corp, in terms of the huge growth there's been in the number of B Corp. So with these sort of events, there's so much to learn. There's so much to learn from other people, and I think our business is an example of that. You can't tackle everything yourself. You're not going to deal with all these problems, and I think it's about being focused on those problems you can deal with. So in our small way, we're addressing that nappy problem, which is a problem and needs to be addressed. But actually, there are so many other brilliant businesses out there addressing all sorts of things, and actually the opportunity to talk with them, to hear what they're doing is always an inspiration, because you can get quite inwardly focused in terms of what you're doing yourself and feeling that you're doing something completely different, when actually there's a lot of people out there striving to do similar things.
Yeah, Guy, well done. And we've said on previous broadcasts with other partners that the better leaders that we come across, business leaders, spend upwards of 25% of their time just thinking, and that thinking encapsulates just sitting in the office and planning, but also going to events like this, because you're going to be challenging and you're going to be positively taken forward. Just had a question which slightly annoys me, Guy. B Corp, will B Corp add any value to my business financially? Go on, Guy. You have a go at that, and then I'm going to.
So when we first went into the B Corp process, we always knew we were good at sustainability because that's at the centre of our business. But there's many others of things about B Corp in terms of the way you treat people, in terms of social and governance, and all sorts of things. And we were looking for a framework to judge ourselves against. And actually, B Corp gave us that. And when we started, we actually weren't going to do the badge. We just wanted to measure ourselves against it. But we did do the badge, and we've achieved it. And I think in terms of the value that gives to a business and the process it goes through, I don't think you can question the value it gives, both for stakeholders, internal. I mean, the reaction from everybody who works for us has been incredible. We've always been that sort of business, but actually to have that stamp in and the contribution that makes to staff retention and motivation and being part of something really important is good. But I think also external stakeholders. I think I shared with you before the interview, we got a significant investment about 18 months ago, and certainly for investors, B Corp is really important, and not that I won't say that was the sort of main reason, but it was a big talking point, and actually it's a badge that investors see as legitimizing certain things when investors are pushing for more and more sustainable and good businesses to invest in.
Yeah, Guy, well done. Henry in Fife, back in your box, please, because I completely concur with Guy. It's not about money. Yeah, that will come with it. It's a bit like the mantra of Blue Skies. People, margin, quality. If you do everything right, everything follows. And just to reiterate what Guy says about the retention rate, with my day job on recruitment, we're finding that the younger generation are being so rightly so pernickety as to who they want to be aligned to. If a company doesn't have a sustainability policy, they're not interested. They're not going to go down that route. So it's definitely something that needs to be adopted. Valerie, what's exciting you about the summit, please? And we sort of already heard from your great video from the last broadcast.
Yeah.
But tell us in person.
I think for me, really, it's the collaboration aspect, the partnership and the ideas sharing, because being a PVC manufacturer, sustainability for us looks like sustainability for PVC, for manufacturing, but hearing from other industries will spark idea generation and will flag up some new ideas and opportunities. So looking forward to that.
Yeah, and I think it's going to work both ways. I gave this example in the green room about 1.2 million bananas are thrown away every day in the UK. And so if we can learn about how we can stop food waste, if we can learn from yourself, from the construction industry, there's going to be a great correlation. But Ebenezer, come on, let's get into some of the elements here. What sort of topics and issues do you think are going to be discussed? We're going to look to resolve at the summit, please.
Yes, thanks, Max. So obviously we've got a very balanced program. I think myself and Simon and all the others on the planning committee made it a point to achieve this. So we've got a balanced program that does a number of things. So what we want to cover is the basics. We understand that not every business is at the same point in their sustainability journey. Some are very advanced, some much less so. And so we want to create a platform at the summit for learning. And so some of the basics we're going to be covering, for instance, is things like, what does sustainability mean in the 21st century from an industry perspective, for example, right? What are some of the key topics or subjects within sustainability that businesses need to be aware of in this day and age? So we're going to be having a number of keynotes and a number of panel sessions and things like that to sort of cover just obviously those basic elements, but also to provide a platform or a basis for knowledge exchange, for the sharing of best practices as well. Because as Valerie said, that collaborative element is very, very important. And of course, listening to other people share their experiences, share their best practices, share the ideas. I think that's a lot to generate and to motivate and to inspire others, right? To do more within their own sectors. And so it's really good that I think that we've got a program for that. And then much more importantly, we're going to have two huge breakout sessions, one on environmental sustainability challenges, and then the other on social sustainability challenges. And in these breakout sessions, we're going to have free-flowing discussions where we're going to talk to identify what our shared sustainability challenges are as a starting point to addressing them with collective and collaborative solutions that we can develop together. And so we think that this program provides a very, very balanced process, we think, for achieving the aims of the summit. And that's one of the reasons why I'm so excited about it.
I didn't get the memo about the breakout rooms. That's going to be excellent. Simon, over to yourself. We gave this example in the last pre-event broadcast, and I'll just use it again. That within our sector, one of our clients failed a supermarket tender. So they were looking to supply a supermarket with a particular range of fresh produce, but they failed that tender because they had no sustainability credentials or plan. And that business came to us, and because they're looking for a consultant to come in. So they're very interested, as per Guy, to go down the B Corp route, because they got very interested in it, but they know they've got to do it. Otherwise, they're particularly going to lose business. Simon, over and above what Ebenezer's told us, what are you hoping to see topics, issue-wise, being discussed at the summit, please?
Yeah, I think the whole range of topics are really of interest. Actually, looking at what are the topics that are prioritized among the participants there. I mean, we're interested in things like plastics, like others are, but looking at how we reduce waste, looking at solutions around the circular economy, looking at how we can reduce our emissions and the kind of technologies that are available to do that, and then looking at the social side of things. What are the things that we can do to promote diversity, social inclusion across the business? What are the kind of new ideas that we can explore to improve working practices across our supply base? What about sort of things like due diligence? How can we ensure that our suppliers as well are also working to the kind of standards that we want to work to? So I think we're interested in the whole, all the different topics. The big challenge is, like quite often with these things, is how do you prioritize? How do you actually identify the one or two topics that we can all work together to address and have the biggest impact? And that's where I feel this summit is the most has the most potential and is exciting. It's inspired by what we've done with Fresh Pact, which is the Fresh Produce Impact Hub, where we've worked with the university and yourself, Max, at Beanstalk Global to try and address challenges around plastic pollution. And it's really demonstrated the power of collaboration, how when you can come together to really define what are the problems that you want to go out and solve together, it helps to obviously go out there and find those solutions. And we're really excited about that journey. And I think if we can pursue a similar journey with the summit, then it's going to be a great success.
Here, Sharon, turn your ears back on. Tony, Michael. Sharon, you and I, come on, we've been to so many talking shops over our careers, haven't we? Where we've been there, we come out and say, well, nothing's really going to change here, and we want to create change with this summit. And what's that expression? Jump for the stars, and you might touch the ceiling. If I could give you a proverbial magic wand, Sharon, what do you want to come out of this summit, please?
I want some clear targets to be set up within the warehousing industry, because it's an industry that I feel that has been neglected. And because it's such a big local industry, if we can get some of the local warehouse managers involved to sit down, do some workshop sessions together where we can start looking at some of solutions to the problems we have, even if we just have one problem we think about, I think that would be a fantastic way forward. So let's try and get some of these big warehouse consortiums together.
Yeah, well done. And if I can make this segue work, if you think of the likes of health and safety, 20 years ago, it was appalling in the construction industry. And you look how advanced it is now, and how the rest of the world learns from the health and safety sector within the UK. If we could get those sort of individuals that you mentioned, Sharon, involved, and they can see the difference it's going to make. I was desperately trying to avoid the phrase of driving societal change, but if we can get them to be excited about it, they're going to tell all their colleagues, they're going to tell all their families, and then we're going to have that lovely ripple effect. So I love that. Guy, come on, if I could give you this proverbial magic wand, what would you like to come out of the summit that's going to blow everyone's socks off?
Well, I think it's trying to inspire people of the masses of opportunities that there are out there because of the problems that we have to address. Just coming back to the previous question I answered about B Corp, which is all about purpose before profit. It's all about going out to do what you can to make change. And I've heard it referred to in various people who I've heard speak, that the challenges we have as a world are the greatest investment opportunities that have ever existed.
Yeah.
And actually, you can put all the politicians, NGOs in a room together. They aren't going to sort the problem. It's only business that's ever going to sort these problems. And actually, if from the summit, people there can realize that, either people in business or thinking about it, that actually, as we move forward, these are the biggest opportunities. And actually, you have a generation coming through who are inspired to make sure that these things are getting sorted and addressed. I think that if that vision can be shared and embraced by many, many more people, we're going to be in a better place.
Ebenezer, Simon, I hope you're taking notes on this. Valerie, same to you. I've given you the proverbial magic wand. What do you want to see that's really going to rock us all at the summit?
Well, I think there's a difference between sustainability for legislation and ticking checkboxes, right? And sustainability for like the future, for actual long-lasting change and for innovation. And I think I really like to identify other people, other businesses in Northamptonshire who are, sustainability for innovation. And so we focus a lot on circular economy here at Freeform, and there's this really interesting branch of it called industrial symbiosis, where literally one man's waste is another man's resource, right? So it's like identifying some of those partners, do we have transit packaging that might be of use to somebody else locally? And if it's local, that's better, right? Less miles traveled. So things like that, I'm excited to hopefully
Valerie,
those people.
Brilliant, Ebenezer. I hope you're scribbling these all down. Collaboration. It's interesting that in the sectors that I work in, I would say that we're appalling at collaborating, and we've got some high tech sectors within agriculture. I just nominate them if you know of them. The likes of vertical farming, where there's a lot of investment money going in. But there's no collaboration between all these units. They've all got a technical director, an ops director, a plant researcher, but there's no collaboration. And I think the charity sector found this out over the years, that they were all doing, they all had the same goal, but they all had their own fiefdoms, and they just had a multitude of people, and it was a waste of time and energy. Where am I going with this one? That the summit's going to be brilliant to be able to share this resource on this sort of open silo thought basis, that we shouldn't keep all of this information close to us. If we can make it, if it's the right worded to use, open source, it's going to be beneficial for us. Ebenezer, how can we create this collaboration at the summit, or even accelerate it by the people that are going to be there, please?
Yeah, thanks, Max. I think it starts with a determination of working together. And I think that determination has to come from a place of understanding that the challenges that we face are not challenges that each one of us can solve on our own. And so with that understanding, I think comes the willingness to actually understand that there is strength in numbers, and there is strength in us pooling our resources together. When I say pooling our resources together, I'm not necessarily speaking about the cold hard cash, but I'm talking about our resources in terms of our expertise that we can actually bring together to actually solve problems. At the university, we have lots of examples that we can share about times or instances, and Simon will know this, where we've worked collaboratively to do projects which address challenges for businesses without necessarily having to obviously ask them to pay for it. And so there are those kinds of opportunities where we're obviously having the opening to work collaboratively together. And I think one of the good things about the summit is that it's a place to really highlight those opportunities and to make people understand that there is power in collaboration, and that we're able to address these challenges much quicker and more effectively if we work together, rather than if we continue down the path that we have been on, unfortunately, of doing our own thing in our little silos and corners. And as important as that may be, we have to go beyond that if we're really, really, really going to address our shared sustainability challenges, because of course they are shared. So why not have shared solutions?
Yeah, and Simon, is the summit? I know the answer to this, but is the summit going to be a one-off, or is there going to be some long-lasting legacy? Is the wrong word. Is there going to be some long-lasting adventure for us all on such an important topic?
Yeah, no, it's not going to be a one-off. So this will be the first of many, the start of hopefully what will be a wonderful journey. We're looking first and foremost from this summit to learn, what are those shared sustainability challenges that we can all work together to solve. And then we'll meet again next year, and then the year after, and then we'll keep going to keep a track of how we're doing, and hopefully in between as well. So we don't want this to be just a one-off talking shop. We want this all to be about action, to be about collaboration, and to keep that opportunity for networking among those delegates outside the event as well.
And Valerie, from what you've picked up from the likes of I keep on mentioning your promotional video. I'll put the link on the post when it goes out. Over and above the sort of people that we got on, who do you think should be challenged to come to the summit that perhaps wouldn't have thought about going and doing the application online? Valerie, who do you think should come to the summit to benefit from it?
I mean, just thinking about our markets, I would probably say merchants, like builders merchants, your juicers, people like that. So yeah.
Yeah, excellent. And will you be looking to invite other people from your business over above yourself and your immediate colleagues?
Yeah, I think one of the so we do have a sustainability team here, but we work collaboratively with other departments, and I think it will be important for other departments to come and learn. And like you said at the beginning there, they might not know the fundamentals of sustainability. So I think there's a lot of value to be gained there for them in other departments. Yeah,
well done, Valerie. And Ebenezer, I think you hit it right off. Sometimes we've got to take it back to basics just to see where the solution, what the problem is, and how we create the solution. Sharon, but back to yourself. Who do you think should attend the summit that's going to get a lot of benefit from it?
Well, I'm in a very similar sector with Valerie. Yeah. But what I'd be looking for is, we have a massive supply chain of about 2,000 clients. And if we can, I mean, we're talking about the big blue chip as well as the smaller companies. If we can just get a fraction of those in, and just the idea is, the more we get involved in these types of shows and trade shows, and start educating people about what changes we need. And as we say, let's just pick a couple of common issues and talk about them and find a solution, rather than just talk. Let's find a solution. Well done.
Thank you, Sharon. Guy, can I have a round?
Yep.
VCs, money, private equity money. I'm involved with one business that was a very big lender from pension funds into various sectors, being technology and food. And they had a monosyllabic title. And you know what these websites are like. When you enter them, you have to fill out a disclaimer to say that's you're okay to enter the site. So they've gone and rebranded themselves on this whole sustainability message, and they've had a whole marketing team come in. They've completely rebranded, all about sustainability. When I've spoken to them offline, and I said, "That's very impressive. Why have you done that?" "Oh, to make us as attractive as possible to the pension fund, so we can get as much money as possible." So that's my rant about them, because in effect it's greenwashing. But Guy, with your background of financiers, do you think we should be encouraging the likes of that sector, that community, to come in and to be awoken as to what the problem is and to what the solution is? Guy, what do you think?
Yeah, and I think they are waking up. I think greenwashing is one of the huge problems that we face. I think if you go back a few years, it was all about climate change deniers. Well, that's sort of been exposed, and we don't have that problem anymore. But certainly in our market, disposable nappies are probably one of the greatest offenders in terms of greenwashing and what they try and do to protect their market share, which you touched on before. I think there are VCs, private equity, where there is an integrity to what they do. And certainly when we look for investment, we spoke to specific impact funds that measure themselves against all the right sustainability criteria. There are some really cynical ones out there who are the type that you are explaining. But I think many investment companies now see the investment opportunities of making sure that they are looking for businesses who are operating in this space. And I think they know that if they get it right, there are financial rewards, and the more the financial rewards, the more investment goes in, and therefore it becomes that vicious circle. So I think in terms of VC, definitely, and this was our experience, there are those that There are those that are doing it for greenwashing, but I think there are more and more that are really there is an integrity to what they do. And I think it was very interesting because when we look for investment, we go for one of these impact funds that only deal in sustainability, or which we did go for, is somebody who had a lot of investment and a huge ambition. Because actually, if you go with the one who's just doing it all the time, you're not really moving the dial. If you're within a portfolio where they're taking on more, they're trying to change the attitudes of the business they invest in, that to me is the most powerful way of working investment funds.
Yeah, well done. And I gave this example last time, and I won't be embarrassed to give it again. That Legal & General, big pension fund in the UK for anyone watching them from overseas. I think it was just pre the pandemic, but they gave their top 100 companies that they invest in 2 years notice to make sure that they had a diversified board. And if they didn't have a diversified board after that 2-year period, they would withdraw funding. Quelle surprise, the bulk of those companies all had a diversified board because they were positively pushed. And you can see those the likes of Legal & General, I'm sure they're already doing it, stating that if we're going to invest in you, you've got to be Guy, you've got to be like Guy, be B Corp and go down that route. But again, that's why I'm excited about the summit, because can you imagine everyone, if we've got a venture capitalist sat next to a builder's merchant, that'd be hilarious, but in a really positive way, because they're going to learn so much and they're going to just bust out of the bubble that perhaps they're in on a daily basis. So it's all looking good. Ebenezer, how can we find out more about the summit? How do we sign up? Give us all those lovely housekeeping details, please.
Yes, thanks, Max. So, of course, you can find out all the information about signing up on the university website. So www.northampton.ac.uk. Go to the events bit and you will see an events listing for the UN Sustainability Summit 2023. And if you click on that, it carries a registration link where you can go on and register, but do that quickly because places are filling up really, really fast. And at some point, we're going to have to close the portal for registrations. And to give you a little bit more impetus to register, I'm really glad to say that we've onboarded some new speakers fairly recently in the last couple of days. So we've had speakers from the likes of the Good Business Charter come on board, and they're going to be featuring at the summit. We've got speakers now from Aston Martin and Barclays who are going to be featuring at the summit as well. So lots and lots and lots of very, very wonderful people with some fantastic expertise, with some fantastic organizations who care about sustainability. So be there, be part of the solution, and don't miss out.
Well done. And I'm just going to go back to a comment that Guy made about don't expect government or anything to assist here. A contact of mine has just messaged me to state, Max, talk about the Dutch diamond. So just in horticulture in Holland, they have a great virtuous circle of government, industry and education, and they work hand in hand. And they swap information, and they're just so hugely collaborative, and that's why that sector in Holland is so advanced. And we don't have that here, but in effect, that's what the University of Northampton is creating. They're creating that equivalent of that Dutch diamond, the Northampton diamond of education and industry all coming together. Denzel, Simon, wrap up for us, please, as to why we should all be excited about coming to the summit.
Well, to find out more about the great things that we're doing, to get inspired and to find solutions to those shared sustainability challenges. I think we're all really looking forward to it. I should also mention as well, if you would allow me to, that there'll also be some awards. Ebenezer and I were just talking about it earlier on today, so there'll be further details about for those who are going along to the summit, how to apply for an award, because we want to highlight best practice, so examples of good social initiatives and environmental initiatives that people are doing. So really looking forward to being inspired by all the great work that people are already doing, and to find out what more we could do to solve those challenges that we all face.
Excellent. So just to reiterate it, the University of Northampton Sustainability Summit, 15th to 16th of May, 2023. That's the business done. We've just got to wrap up with the boy band name for Ebenezer, for Simon and myself. I have a comment in here that's from my contact in America, the good, the bad and the ugly. You can work out which one's the ugly because he talks most of the time. Valerie, what's our boy band name going to be, please?
maybe the global stalkers, just going off Beanstalk Global.
Oh, I like it, Guy.
Oh God, you've caught me by surprise. I'd completely forgotten. Pass on me. Sorry.
Oh, come on. I bet your wife is all scratching her head at your record collection.
Let me no, come back to me.
No worries, Sharon. Wrap up for us.
Oh, I don't know. Sustainable men.
Oh, there we go. Oh, that's it. That's the winner. Guy, you're last.
I know. Useless.
Valerie, you go second, and Sharon, you're the leader with the sustainable men. Everyone, just you can feel the excitement about this summit. There's going to be so many positive things that come off it. But you can only get involved with it if you attend. So 15th, 16th of May, just type in University of Northampton Sustainability Summit on Google. It will take you straight there. Everyone, thank you very much. You're all fantastic. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.